some people sometimes they like to ask me, hey, is $20 still your price target for AIOZ during this board? To answer that question, I would say yeah. Even though nothing I say is financial advice, the way I take a look at it is that this hypothetical scenario wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. The reason being is because, first of all, I think the board is far from over. But I'm going to talk about that later on in the video. However, even besides that, I first want to talk about the fundamentals of AIOZ because I think this right here is key as to just how well we could very well maybe see it can perform during this board, because usually projects with good fundamentals like this, I don't think they typically will do bad. And it's not like AIOZ is a small project, but I'm just saying it still has a lot to prove in my opinion. And why not, right? When it comes to AIOZ, it's even been stated that if we take a look at its network, right? Again, the AIOZ network, it is a decentralized physical infrastructure network for Web3 AI, storage, and as well as streaming. Now, why are these three markets amazing? Let me break this down because I get it. AI, as of right now, the market hasn't been doing the best. Let's face it, right? A lot of the hype kind of disappeared along with the crypto space going down. People are now no longer really, kind of having this same passion and drive for AI that I think we saw, months ago, right? However, I don't think it's a bad thing because I think the long term could be very different than what we see as of right now, or should I say the future, because take into consideration how when it comes to Grandview Research, they do predict that the AI market is predicted to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030. I mean, just let that sink in. First of all, 2030 isn't even that far away, basically 5 years, but I get it. Again, it's not even that far away in my opinion. Not to mention, we take a look at how when it comes to the GDP of Canada, a very amazing country. I have many friends in Canada, but even besides that point, when I take a look at Canada, the GDP of Canada, again, back in 2023 was around $2 trillion. So I think that, if anything, truly puts into imagination as to just how massive the AI market could be in the very near future, at least hypothetically. So I still do believe that better days are ahead. Now let's take a look at, for instance, another market, right? We take a look at how, according to Fortune Business Insights, the data storage market, or should I say there's data regarding this, right? The global data storage market size could be worth nearly $800 billion by 2030, again, according to Fortune Business Insights. So when we take a look at something like AIOZ focused on storage, this is good news in my opinion. Now, when it comes to AIOZ, it's not really known for, being focused on storage, but I still want to talk about this anyways, because if we take a look at storage, it does need a solution, right? Let's face it, a lot of storage nowadays is very centralized. I'm not saying it's bad because it's working very well, actually, and it's going to work well in the long term as well, in my opinion, but it doesn't mean that it can't be improved. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say centralized storage, right? Let's take a look at this logical example. Let's say I am, hiding my treasure, and I hide my treasure in one location. Let's say I make it very centralized. Is that a better move? Or if I hide it in 100 different locations, I think it's logically fair to assume that it's a lot safer if I hid it in 100 different locations as opposed to one. The reason being is because if I hid it in just one location and then let's say it got breached or whatever, right? Then that's it. All the treasure is gone. But however, if I hide it in 100 different locations, even if 10 gets breached, there's still a bunch left. So then the way I view it is that, this is not such a bad thing. Again, let's say decentralized data storage, let's say for instance. So I do believe that the data storage market could have some improvement there, even though it's not a small market, even though it's been working for a long time. I totally understand that, but still, it could be improved arguably. And could AIOZ play a large role in that? Maybe, only time will tell, but I'm confident because it's a good project in my opinion. Now, let's take a look at, for instance, streaming, right? We'll see that, yet again, according to Grandview Research, because, they like to predict things, the video streaming market size by 2030 is expected to exceed, right, $400 billion. I mean, just let that sink in. 400 billion? That's bigger than some countries' GDP, or should I say over 400 billion. So this is how amazing AIOZ is. They understand markets with good potential, at least hypothetically, and they're focused on that. Again, Web3 AI, storage, streaming. They know what they're doing. This isn't, a project that is here for fun or anything like that. It's an actual serious project that's looking to stay around for the long term. And this is what I like about them. Again, it's a serious project. I'm not saying I don't like fun projects like, meme coins and all this. I like that. But then it doesn't mean that I'm not going to like these serious projects too, because I use them as my foundational pieces in my portfolio. Again, I don't only just hold AIOZ, but again, when I take a look at my overall portfolio, I need something like this. And when you think about it, AIOZ is a big player in the AI space, at least in terms of reputation, because usually when I ask people, hey, what are good AI projects? They can sometimes only name two, right? In which case they say ASI, right? The ASI Alliance, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. However, also on top of that, they sometimes mention BitTensor. But then really beyond that, they don't mention anything else. But I think AIOZ could really have that number 3 place, maybe. Who knows? Only time will tell, but I'm just saying. When it comes to AIOZ, it's in a good market. Again, AI primarily, right? I would argue. But then when it comes to the AI space, not many people can mention other projects. So this is why I do like something like, for instance, AIOZ. Now, keep in mind, right? AIOZ is currently partners, allegedly, with NVIDIA, which, of course, we all know is massive. We take a look at Alibaba Cloud, Google for startups, and even Qualcomm as well. So these are massive enterprises right here, and I do believe that something like AIOZ, again, they know what they're doing. I mean, even just me thinking about that makes me want to take a shower, even though I already have, but I'm just saying. The reason being is because when I take a look at partnerships like that, I could only just imagine the effort it would take to go on meetings with them, right? To try to say this and say that, try to convince them to partner. Or sometimes they go to maybe AIOZ themselves. I'm not sure exactly the details of the partnerships, and I'm just saying, could you imagine the logistics of it? You know, the amount of time, effort taken to accomplish something like that. That's no easy task. And I think AIOZ, the fact that they can even do this, it shows that, again, they're very impressive and they're just not here for fun. Now, let's take into consideration that when it comes to AIOZ, it could be argued that it's also a little bit focused on NFTs, which again is predicted to be worth over $200 billion. Again, the market size of it, according to Grandview Research, by 2030. So again, AIOZ is a very complete project, and $20, by the way, is around a 55x from here. Doesn't seem too bad when I take a look at the market cap, considering current circulating supply, which would be around $23 billion. Keep in mind, Shiba Inu at one point reached around $40 billion, Dogecoin reached over $80 billion market cap, and this was back in 2021. Keep in mind, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million, according to Crypto.com research, which is more than ever before in history. So I do believe that when it comes to something like this, man, I think the bull run is far from over, because take into consideration, usually altcoins is a worst case scenario. They typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. And the last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year. So 18 months from then is around October this year. There's no surefire date, but it's a good benchmark, if anything, personally for me. And I'm going to more so pay attention near the end of 2025. I think the bull run is far from over. And some people like to say, oh, the bull run's over. I disagree with that. With over 600 million crypto owners, the bull run, that's the peak. I just highly doubt that. Because during the peak, again, of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. And yet it looked like that. So I think this time around, things could be a lot different. And I'm staying patient because I still believe in AIOZ, and at the price of $20, that still wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm up. Peace. Bye.